Welcome back to Barber and Haskill's kitchen. My name is Amanda and today we're going to be making cornbread on the Traeger grill. One thing I love about the Traeger is that in the summertime I also use it as an oven. It works very similar. You set the temperature and just put your items in and you can bake stuff right in the Traeger grill. This cornbread recipe is great. Again, I had all these items sitting in my pantry already and you might as well. So to make this recipe, you're going to need half a cup of butter, a cup and a half of cornmeal, a cup and a half of all-purpose flour, 3 eggs, 2/3 of a cup of honey, a cup and a half of milk. I'm gonna use buttermilk. I find that it just adds a little bit more flavor and richness to the recipes. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon and a half of salt. And we're gonna be making ours in our cast iron skillet today. So I'm really excited about that. It's nice and seasoned. We've used it a few times. Honestly, our skillet mostly gets used to make cookie skillets, which might come up in a future Barber and Haskill's kitchen. So let's see how it's done. All right, so we have the rest of our ingredients here. And one thing I'm gonna say is that I know I do this for the show. I have everything portioned out, but it actually, in separate containers, it actually makes your life so much easier and the cleanup so much easier just to have everything portioned out before you start cooking. So I did start doing this just for this show and it actually made my life so much easier that I do it all the time when I bake now. So that's something that I'm gonna highly recommend. So for this recipe, as per most baking recipes, we're just gonna put all the dry ingredients together in first. So we have the cornmeal, the flour, got some baking powder, baking soda, salt, and then we're just gonna give it a little quick stir, kind of make sure that it's all mixed up a little bit. And now it's ready just to set aside. And so now we're just gonna mix the honey and the eggs. And I like to just use as little, cooking vessels as possible because I'm lazy and I don't like doing dishes. So we're mixing the honey and the eggs together and I'm literally just gonna mix it inside the cup it was already in. Get it all mixed together. All right, and now we're gonna mix it with our butter. I'm gonna mix it with our milk. And now we're just gonna mix the wet and the dry ingredients together. Now we're just gonna wanna incorporate this until it's just sort of mixed together because we are gonna take that butter that we have on the skillet and we are going to put it into this recipe as well and give it another stir. So now that this is all really well incorporated, I'm gonna put it into our cornmeal mixture, cornmeal flour. And again, I'm just gonna mix it until everything is sort of just incorporated. You don't wanna over mix, but you don't want it to be lumpy either, so. All right, so that's basically incorporated. So now we're just gonna head out to the Traeger and we're gonna see about how well that butter is doing. And then we're gonna incorporate it into this and then put it in the pan to cook. All right, so we have our Traeger preheated to 375 and we're actually just gonna put the skillet with the butter into the Traeger to let the butter melt. And then we're gonna use that butter to incorporate into the batter before we cook it. All right, so our butter has melted, and as I said before, you're gonna wanna make sure, this is a mistake I make often with skillets. For some reason, I just feel like they're not hot and I touch them with my bare hands. Please, please, please use oven mitts. So we're just gonna take this butter and dump it into our mixture. And we're just gonna try to get some of it all around the edges of your pan if you can. It'll just help later on. So we're just gonna incorporate the butter into the mixture. I'm taping. And we're just incorporating the butter into the mixture until it's fully incorporated. Just so you know, mine seems like pretty runny for a baked good, so hopefully it turns out, we'll see. Once it's incorporated, we're just gonna put it into the pan and we're gonna let it cook for about 35 minutes. All right, it's been 35 minutes and the cornbread looks amazing. Just gonna see if I can show you what it looks like. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited about how it turned out. I will cut it and take a picture and show you what it looks like on the inside. It does look really done, so I guess the liquid kind of consistency of the batter was bang on. If you're wondering what's over to my right, we are having a mattress blowout sale right now, so come by and see what we have in stock. Thank you again for joining us on Barber and Haskill's Kitchen. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you. If you have ideas for upcoming recipes, we would love to hear from you as well. Thank you again, and we will see you soon.